What's poppin'? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. I am Wayno. If this is your first time here, it's great to have you. If you like what it is that I do, hit that sub button and run them likes up. Today we talking about Anthony Fantano. Yeah, y'all favorite reviewer. Not mine. Friend or foe, yo, state your biz. Friend or foe, state your biz. Anthony Fantano has built a name for himself online, specifically YouTube. And he's been doing it for years. I've always seen his clips, him reviewing people's music, reviewing people's albums. And you get these people who always say, oh, we need to gatekeep, we need to gatekeep. The thing about the internet is this. You cannot stop anybody from doing anything on the internet. Now, you can express how you feel about the said things that they do. You can express what their content means or doesn't mean to you. But as far as gatekeeping, there's been this thing where there's been no barriers. And I believe that they should be. They should be to a certain extent. Now, it's one thing to have a person reviewing music, but it's another thing when you start to find out who these people were online in the beginnings of their career. So Anthony Fantano, you know what I'm saying, first clip we're gonna watch is him doing some sort of video where he's describing Hopsin's music, which, I mean, I never really listened to Hopsin's music like that. But he's tying what looks like to be a noose around his neck. And while he's tying this noose around his neck, a photo of a black man pops up on the screen.
Spit a few bars of Hopsin verse. You should have something on your neck, just on the verge of choking you to death as you read Hopsin lyrics. That's just the proper context.
That's just the proper context. And then you also see a young black kid with a hand on his throat. Now, a lot of people use memes. They use all types of stuff to describe their emotions or the emotions of what they are curating in a room. But we're not going to sit here and pretend like grown-ass men and women don't be knowing what it is that they're doing. See, I think that for too long, right? For too long, people have gotten away. They've gotten away with the idea of, I didn't know. I didn't know that was offensive. I didn't know you felt that way. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to this said dude right here, who is 39 years old, which a lot of this stuff he was doing 10 years ago, which would have made him 29 years old. Let's give him another year. Let's say 11. Let's say 12. He'd have been 27. Well over 25. Everybody got sense of humor, and everybody got their dark humor and all of that, right? But a lot of the things that people do, and this is why I keep saying friend or foe, is because y'all want people to look at y'all in a different light, in a different way, after it's discovered that you are a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? After it's been discovered that you do things or you did things to get yourself popping, and when you got popping off of the backs of the people that you joke about, you then invade their culture and say, oh, now I want to. Because guess, let's just keep it 1,000. He got popping off a rap. He got popping talking about rap. You want to know why? Because it's always shock value when a person that's white or from another hue, another ethnicity, is talking specifically about rap music, and it sounds like they know a little bit about what they're talking about. This is a person who rated KSI, personality, boxing, all that, his album over Drake's album, Certified Lover Boy. Now, to me, and Certified Lover Boy is not my favorite out of Drake's catalog. It's not an album that you would rate this guy's album over. But again, that trolling and, you know what I'm saying, that trolling and divisiveness that he carved a space out for himself on YouTube is an easy way or easy recipe for him to rise to the top. Now, again, for myself, I don't care about doing ridiculous antics. I know for a fact that if I wanted to get on here and just make up lies or say outlandish, disrespectful things or disrespect people for no absolute reason instead of telling my own true feelings, that I would possibly go viral every time I press send. Is going viral my goal? Nah. My goal is to build a space and build a business that's sustainable with me having honest conversation with my audience, and when I make mistakes, owning up to my mistakes and building from that. and bringing real commentary and real conversation when it comes to whatever it is I do. Enough about me. But there's this clip, and there's this clip with him in a group chat or a chat room with a couple of people, and while they making jokes, they saying racist things. Now, I want to watch this video, and then I'm going to talk about how we, you know, what we talk about or what we don't talk about when it comes to these types of subjects when it involving other people.
To an event
a vegan invited
that taught
me to an
me
event
about
that taught me
PETA's,
about PETA's buying guide slash
neoliberal whiteness and Trayvon Martin. Okay.
Dude, fuck Trayvon. I'm thinking Trey Melvin. Trey Melvin. I had a big thing with Trey Melvin.
Trayvon Martin.
It's all these fucking black names, dude. I get confused.
Whoa! Whoa! That's worse.
Yeah, I said it. Sorry. This is not inappropriate. I'm representing my culture, my heritage. I am actually from I am a native descendant of the Slapaho tribe. So I have to say
I just
that,
got my 23andMe back, man. I thought I was a fucking
Now, Trayvon Martin, they decided to read a super chat. And of course, they're going to say, well, I didn't know who Trayvon Martin was, because Fantano, he goes on to explain himself about this said situation and other situations in a video called Taking Accountability. Now, them talking about Trayvon Martin, I'm going to keep it 100. I've been out of my feelings when it comes to how everybody else feels regarding our people. This has nothing to do with anything else about how we treat each other, nothing. I know for a fact and have known for years that when it comes to young black men and women losing their lives in this country, it's always going to be looked at as a joke. It has nothing to do with what goes on in a community where poverty exists and lack of education exists and lack of resources and people starving, so they doing ridiculous things to one another. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the DNA of this country and these people's descendants, the ones that came before them. See, trauma can be passed down, right? Trauma can be passed down through our blood. There was some brothers that I was talking to years ago that had this system, and they was trying to work with Nipsey around, with something like that. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but I met these brothers one time, and trauma can literally be passed down through DNA. So I believe that hate can be passed down through DNA as well, and especially upbringing and household. See, the thing about it is, when it comes to this conversation about friend or foe, it's more than a song. It's more than an idea. It's more than a concept. It's what's going on every single day when you walk into the gym, when you walk into work, when you take public transportation, when you walking home at night. You know what I'm saying? When you get a feeling that regardless to how good of a person you may be, the person that you may be befriending may be a foe and not an ally to you. And I don't think we need a bunch of allies to get where we need to go in life. That's a whole nother video. But for these pieces of shit right here, to negate the fact that even if you want to take, because everything is, oh, why do you make it about race? You want to know why we make it about race? Because everything is about race. But to negate the fact that a young man lost his life from somebody antagonizing him and stalking him and messing with him, you know what I'm saying? And then when it went to trial, we all know how that went. We all know how that goes. We all know how that went. That man went on a tour and paraded around the firearm and let people hold it, pay him to hold it, that he took a young man's life with. See, the difference between how real men, and the thing about real men is that I'm not going to put that on color specifically. I'm going to chalk up real men to understanding responsibility, regardless if you behind a camera or you on stream, you know what I'm saying? Or you crashing out or whatever silly, stupid shit y'all do to get views and likes. Real men have compassion. Real men understand that their actions warrant reactions. Real men understand that just because you 25, 26, 27, 22, that you can't operate in a space where you just do negative and crazy shit to people and think that it's not going to be no repercussions or nobody's never going to feel no way about the things that you do. A mother lost her son. A father lost his son. Some siblings lost their brother. And that's what sums up this whole situation with Trayvon Martin. You negated to at that point say, whoa, what's going on? I seen a study, can't remember exactly, but it said, well, it wasn't a study, excuse me. I believe they brought up some statistics. But the video, it was a white woman asking her son, if you're lost, who's the first person you gonna go to? And the kid said, a black man. And he said, why? And then the kid went on to say something regarding about how they protect you or whatever, right? And then the statistics came up about how safe children who were lost felt going towards black men, right? Now, at the moment where, you know, because we see it's not just black kids who, you know, lose their lives or whatever. All types of people lose their lives. And there are pieces of shit in every type of group of people. No one person represents all people. So I'm speaking specifically about this group. I'm not talking about everybody abroad. But when we see situations or hear situations about a mother from whatever ethnicity losing a child, we don't use that as a joke, because we deal with death so much and we've learned how to suppress our feelings, and we come stone cold in a lot of ways, but still have that heart, you know what I mean? Still have that heart to understand that, damn, if you're going through something, we there with you. See, that's a quality that we have that makes us great. I wish we would use it in other ways, but like I said, that's another video. But we don't take the opportunity to joke on young white men who lose their lives. If I was ever on stream, I don't know the names of the young white men who lost their lives in Milwaukee when this kid who came from another town to shoot protesters. Was it Kyle Rittenhouse? I remember his name, Kyle, because it was a big conversation about Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's just check that for accuracy. Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. He was the kid who went, you know what I mean, and did the shooting or whatever. But we would never take that. If somebody sent me a super chat and they said one of these names, I myself would find that disgusting, and I would possibly, and I don't care about somebody sending me no bread. I would ban that person from my channel because the money ain't worth it. It ain't worth going viral. It ain't worth laughing. Somebody losing their life is a serious thing, and when somebody is somebody's kid. You know what I mean? Everybody's somebody's kid, excuse me. But anyway, Fantano, he goes on to, you know, this video about taking accountability. And he does this video taking accountability. We got to watch it for a minute because it's 3 minutes long. But he talks a lot about everything that's transpiring with him and the internet and how he feels.
Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and in case you haven't noticed, I'm getting torn apart on Twitter, which is nothing new for me personally, but the discourse seems to have reached a fever pitch that's making a lot of people concerned and angry and even thinking I'm covertly a racist, bigoted person. Now, these are the same sorts of allegations that I have fought against and won before, and I'm happy to do it again because I have nothing to hide and I know they're not true. I don't want to waste anyone's time, so let's just get straight into it. With Exhibit A, this clip right here, which has just been going absolutely viral, and here's my explanation for it. Early on in my YouTube career, I had some pretty lax views when it came to quoting the language of others, and my point of view was, what does it matter? It's not me saying it. I'm relaying a lyric or a sentiment or a point of view expressed by someone else. I'm even embarrassed to say that I don't think it was until like a few years ago that I actually changed and censored the text of this 2014 Death Grips review title. And as you can see in the comments of this video, there's even a lot of discourse and jokes flying around about me not saying the title. And at the time, this sort of thing left me feeling like this is more or less a moral gray area. I extended this attitude into other pieces of content I've made, like this one, where it is also clear I am quoting someone even in the tightly edited state this clip has been presented in. And the reason I'm doing so is to voice disagreement with calling people racial and homophobic slurs as a bit, which is what the original content creator I was quoting was doing. And he himself has since apologized for this whole era of his career. But I would rather err on the side of caution and not hurt anyone by explicitly voicing language that doesn't exist in a vacuum, even if I am quoting it. And that's actually been my approach for a very long time now. I mean, this clip may be new to you, but it's actually almost 10 years old. If this was ever something I made a regular habit of doing, believe me, you'd be seeing more examples than this. All I can do is take ownership of having quoted these words in this way, and obviously say that I'm sorry, which I am in fact sorry about this. Now, there are going to be some people watching this video who will say, no, that's not enough. I know you're a racist. I saw a clip of you laughing at Trayvon Martin's death, which I guess this is the clip.
Vegan invited me to an event that taught me about PETA's buying guide / neoliberal whiteness and Trayvon Martin. Okay.
Dude, fucking Trayvon. Oh no, I was thinking Trey Melvin. Trey Melvin. I had a big thing with Trey Melvin.
Which I will agree, that doesn't look good. But believe it or not, the way this clip has been presented is a lie, and it's been heavily edited too. First off, I gotta say, the Drunken Peasants podcast where I was appearing in that clip is explicitly not a right-wing podcast. While yeah, it's true the show has featured a pretty wild range of guests over the years, and the humor tends to run a bit edgy, they also regularly make fun of right-wingers, alt-right psychopaths, and the president. And in this clip that you just saw, I'm reading a super chat that is on the screen that was sent in by a viewer of the show. And the reason I'm jumping into reading it is that partially it is a dig at me, because on the show it's not exactly a secret that I'm an openly liberal vegan. And from there, here's what actually happens.
A vegan invited me to an event that taught me about PETA's buying guide / neoliberal whiteness and Trayvon Martin. Okay.
Dude, fucking Trayvon. Oh no, I was gonna.
Oh!
I was gonna say Trey Melvin, but it's no Trayvon Martin.
Man, you're so. You know what, Jeff? You're so right wing.
As you can see there, that is not the clip that is getting passed around. In this original clip, Jeff Holiday there on the podcast doesn't even finish his sentence. He apparently gets Trayvon Martin mixed up with someone else entirely, and I even call him a moron. Because that is obviously something a fucking moron would communicate. So, like for example, if I did a stream with this guy tomorrow, people might understandably think that I endorse the idea of having sexual conversations with underage boys, and I don't. So
a whole lot of running at the mouth. Now, here's the thing. There was another video clip that, of course, I cannot show because he's saying the N-word, hard ER. He's saying a lot of different slurs. He's saying a lot of different things. Now, during this, he's saying sorry. Well, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But that doesn't erase the fact that when you say these things, you're talking about, I'm speaking from the perspective of a person who wrote these lyrics or said these things. I'm not saying it as myself. You ain't no fucking kid, bro. You not no kid. I'm so tired of these niggas all the time talking from a perspective like they little kids, bro. Y'all not little kids. Y'all grown-ass men. See, the thing about being a man and being accountable is saying, I did some fuck shit, straight up and down. Not, I'm just taking accountability because, the context is being mispurported. And no, fuck all that, bro. You said a lot of disrespectful things. The things that you said, even with the Trayvon Martin thing, y'all always laughing. Y'all thought it was funny. You cannot tell me you did not know who Trayvon Martin was, or nobody on that stream didn't know who Trayvon Martin was. It was one of the most controversial topics of the 2010s decade. It was a bit. You ever seen the movie A Time to Kill? It was damn near that level. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just tired of these dudes, bro, who come into this and they build themselves up on the work of other black people. Let's just keep it 1,000. He ain't get popping because he reviewed Adele's album. He ain't get popping because he reviewing Katy Perry. He getting popping because they think it's so dope that this white boy knows about hip hop. But that ain't hip hop at all. See, I think that the word culture is so tossed around. The word culture is so thrown around that the definitions is not used because people don't use words for definitions. Culture is basically a way of life. Culture is basically morals and principles or rules and regulations that's built within it. And of course, there's no book to hip hop and those rules and regulations. And the thing about hip hop is that we're all accepting, oh no, come on. Everybody come to the cookout. Do you like mac and cheese? You like fried chicken? Oh, you could come to the cookout. Fuck out of here with all of that, man. Stop telling these bozos that they could be a part of culture just because they like a song, just because they learned the lyrics. The unfortunate thing about him and the foe that he is is that you can't tell who they are. They out there lurking. They out there next to you right now. They sending you emails. They about to go on lunch break with you right now. And you won't know that they're a foe until you lift the veil to see who it is. So I think that everybody should just do a little bit more curating on who we support. A little bit more curating. Now listen, what I'm saying is not going to stop him and what he's been building over the years. It's not going to put a dent in that. I'm just telling y'all, before y'all start running to all of these new people because it's a nuance and it's these new things, ask yourself, when do you see us critiquing them the way they do us? When do you see, and even at the point where you do want to get into certain elements of their cultures, are you accepted? Are you welcomed? Are you brought in like, yeah, man, come on, man, like, come on. Fuck out of it. They ain't jacking none of y'all, man. They not jacking none of y'all, and we ain't jacking him. This nigga's a bozo. He's a clown. You know what I'm saying? All of that, yo, I'm sorry shit. That don't mean nothing. You want to know why? Because we now have to wonder, have you always felt like this prior to us knowing who you are? And once you start getting money, of course you got to clean up the image, because that image is what, you know what I mean? That image is what grants you the bread. It's what opens doors. I'm pretty sure a lot of labels have sent albums to him or songs to him early for that critique because of those numbers. Stop sucking numbers, you heard? This is how I do it myself. For the ones that rock with me, you know how we doing. For the ones that don't, eventually will. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.